quote for the day. You know, one of my friends, a doctor here, we were talking about this a couple of weeks ago, about coronavirus. And he said to me, Mendy, you know, we're going to overcome this coronavirus. It's going to be okay until or unless it gets personal. And yesterday was a tough day because when I woke up in the morning, I found out that one of my dearest friends lost his father in London, a young man, 73 years old, totally healthy, who passed away from coronavirus. And not only that, but he couldn't go to the funeral because he lives here. He's a rabbi in Charleston, South Carolina. And it really hit home. It was very painful. And it made me think about who we are and the pain of human beings and suffering that we're all having in this world and the people that we know. So I want to dedicate it to my dear friend's father and to him, to his family, for comfort, for healing, whatever we could do at this time. On to the thought of the day. You know, I told you yesterday that this week we start reading the portion of Vayikra, which is the book of Leviticus, which speaks all about sacrifices. And I explained to you that although today's day and age we don't have a temple and we don't bring sacrifices, there is the esoterical and the spiritual component to the sacrifices that are very important to our day-to-day life. So today I thought we should go back to the basics. On the second verse in Vayikra and Leviticus, the Torah tells us, Adam, a man, ki yakriv mikem karban laHashem, if he brings a sacrifice from you to the Almighty. So the Alter Rebbe, the founder of the Chabad movement, in one of his first and most basic talks, said something like this and asked a question. He says, I don't understand. If anyone speaks Hebrew grammatically, it says, Adam ki yakriv mikem karban laHashem, a person that will bring a sacrifice from you to God. It should have said a person from you who will bring a sacrifice, not a person that will bring a sacrifice from you. You don't sacrifice the person, you sacrifice the animal. What's going on here? And the Alter Rebbe said a very powerful thought. He says the word karban, which is a sacrifice, also has the same root as the word karov, which means close. And the Alter Rebbe says that when a human being wants to be close to God, when he wants to become closer to Hashem, mikem karban laHashem. You know how you get closer to God? By sacrificing a little bit of yourself, by giving up a little bit of your materialism, of your understanding, of your comfort for God. It's very easy in life to talk about sacrifice when it comes to someone else. It's very easy, you go to Washington, you go all over, and everyone talks about what the next guy has to give up. Why didn't you give something up, it says. But the Torah tells us, you know what? If a person truly wants to become close to the Almighty, ki yakriv mikem karban laHashem, you gotta be able to sacrifice a little bit of our materialism, of our indulgence in materialistic things. I'm sure you saw the thing going around from Bill Gates, the things that he learned from Corona, a remarkable human being who has dedicated his life to bringing healing to the world. But one of the things he says there is that we become a very materialistic world and nation, where it's all about how much I have and what I get and materialistic comfort, even in our eating habits and everything. We focus on what we enjoy and what we want, not necessarily giving up anything from ourselves. And I think that it was a very important thing. And I think it's even more than that. You know, we live in an intelligent society. Living here in Boston, we live in a very intellectual place. And I feel that people very seldom are ready to give up anything of their own for God. Sometimes, even our understanding. Yes, you can't understand everything. Adam ki yakriv mikem karban laHashem. You want to become close to God? Sometimes, even if you think and understand a certain way, you give up a little bit of your understanding to become closer to God, to our faith, to our roots. You say, you know what, I might not understand this totally, but I'm giving it up, my intelligence, to the Almighty. I think it's important. We're all living at home together. And we're all living, you know, they said that in Israel, they said this joke that the first death from coronavirus came because they quarantined a couple. and the woman killed her husband, or vice versa. But the point is, we're all living with our spouses, with our families. And it's so easy in life. The Talmud says, Adam karov etzel atzmo. We're always closer to ourselves. We see the next guy, we see iniquities, we see blemishes, we see problems, we see challenges, we see struggles. We see ourselves, we see perfection. And even when it's not perfect, we figure we'll make it perfect. When's the last time we sacrificed a little bit for the person we're living with? For our parent, for our spouse, for our neighbor, in the house or out the house? When's the last time we said, you know what, I'm not going to indulge in something that I want, materialistic, because I'm going to try to be a little more spiritual, a little more refined, the way I speak, the way I act, behave to others. I think that's an important message as we begin the book of Leviticus and we begin this, continue. We're already almost 2 weeks in quarantine here, but it continues and we don't see when the end is. I think it's a good message for us to take into our day, into our life. Adam ki yakriv mikem karban Hashem. The first thought our Hasidic master, the Alter Rebbe, taught us, to become close to God, you got to sacrifice. From who? Not from the next guy, from yourself. It's easy to say, oh, you're a sacrifice? I'll make him give something up. Give something up yourself. Have a great day.